Immoral Heliolite was a Miraluka Jedi Master and Jedi Battlemaster of the Old Republic who was born in 3693 BBY, 40 years before the sacking of Coruscant. A disciplined and pious man, he was celebrated within the Jedi Order for his mastery, scholarship, and instruction of the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, and his traditionalist beliefs of the Jedi Code and Order. Nevertheless, he was infamous amongst the Sith as a potent disciple of the light side of the Force, intolerant of and combating the dark side in all its forms, often referred to as the Silver Jedi. Although at the beginning of his Jedi career, Immoral served in the war between the Galactic Republic and the Sith Empire, the amount he has lost over his life caused him to focus upon that which he deemed most important, safeguarding the Jedi Order, including its students and sovereignty, and striking decisively against the heart of the Empire, the Dark Lords of the Sith that rule it. As a promising Force-sensitive infant, Immoral was initiated into the Jedi Temple on Ilum. Described as polite and difficult in equal measure, he had a mischievous and competitive nature, and a tendency to disappear into the crystal caves for days at a time. An acknowledged prodigy in lightsaber combat, Immoral quickly matured into a disciplined and humble proponent of the Jedi under the firm guidance of the resident Battlemaster Brunei. He learned all he could on the theory and practice of lightsaber combat. To this day, his cool and calculating disposition is reflective of the icy climate in which he was trained. Although most Jedi don earth-toned robes reflecting nature, Immoral continues to wear white as an homage to Ilum's particular environment. The Great Galactic War broke out early into Immoral's Padawanhood. As the Jedi world served as Republic staging grounds, he shadowed his mentor's involvement in naval campaigns, recognizing complex patterns amidst the chaos to exploit with critical precision. He has applied this mentality to all things, including lightsaber combat, and honed this skill as a Jedi strategist. When Ilum was eventually attacked, Immoral's enclave was decimated, left deeply affected by the loss of his home and friends and mentors to the Sith. He was nevertheless transferred to Coruscant to complete his trials. Soon after, Immoral was elevated to the rank of Jedi Knight. Intent upon taking the fight to the Empire, Immoral joined the Great Galactic War as a Jedi commander and strategist, taking part in some of its bloodiest conflicts, such as the Rim campaign. Not at the expense of his prospects as a lightsaber instructor, Immoral applied and developed his craft to the front lines, earning the respect and pupillage of his Jedi at arms. In doing so, he was eventually bestowed the rank of Jedi Battlemaster under the premiership of Jun Saros. Serving valiantly, Immoral took on and lost his first Padawan, coaxing within him a sincere wariness and reluctance toward the romantic ideal of frontline warfare. He came to question its value, in time determining it was merely symptomatic of a greater threat to balance, the Sith Order. It was during the Cold War, the Heliolite published the first edition of his seminal work on lightsaber combat, called The Art of the Blade, or the lightsaber and its associated combat, in which he inscribes the academia of the 7 forms of lightsaber combat, including their respective histories, theories, practices, and philosophies. Preluding the Battle of Ilum, Immoral was tasked with leading a contingent of Jedi to execute guerrilla tactics against Imperial forces on the planet, making critical strikes against Imperial and Sith forces and guarding Jedi holy sites. He was the subject of heresy as the Ghost of Ilum and Guardian of the Crystal Caves. He later joined Master Caden's forces in retaking the planet. He was notorious as a critical and demanding instructor, but celebrated for his patience and the sincere privilege he took from teaching, albeit often protective if he didn't believe his students were prepared. In recognition, he was elevated to the rank of Jedi Master and granted a seat upon the Enclave Council. The Praxium still came into conflict with the Sith Empire, for which Immoral took a leading role against Sith power bases and coordinated military operations. He returned habitually to Ilum as the custodian of its temple and crystal caves, repelling trespassing Sith. When the Eternal Empire attacked, the Enclave's Praxium ship was critically damaged, causing Immoral to execute an instinctive hyperspace jump. Remaining adrift for 5 years, he protected the Jedi that remained and trained his own protege to become a Jedi Battlemaster, while the Jedi Order in the wider galaxy dissolved. Re-emerging 5 years later, Immoral was called upon to lead the Praxium's reconstituted council, serving it for just over a year. He was conscious that the Jedi were still vulnerable against the Sith, and the Order would have to resume its connection with the Galactic Republic for the galaxy to recover. Having long since disconnected himself from the Republic to focus upon the Order to which he had dedicated his life, Immoral left the Enclave Council in the hands of a new generation of Jedi Masters, many of whom he had trained himself. Immoral searched tirelessly for Jedi refugees and lore lost during Zakuul's occupation, establishing several small self-sufficient sanctuaries to protect from Sith who would seek to eradicate them. Upon learning of Master Nos Dural's colony on Ossus, he centralized them under his legitimate authority, and soon took another Padawan, Lora Sal. With the Order coming together, Immoral continued reconstituting its foundation so that it could prosper, launching an initiative to mobilize and train its Jedi instructors. With the Sith still posing a threat to the Order, he turned his calculating mentality towards a more proactive stance to dismantling the Sith Order through decisive and calculated strikes at critical junctures. Serving as a leading figure of a contingent of Jedi Shadows, he trained them to combat the dark side, secured and contained nexuses and artifacts, investigated Sith power bases, and made decisive strikes against their leadership to destabilize them, and by extension, the Empire. One such power base was that of the indomitable Darth Vaesen, with whom he came into direct and intense conflict, in addition to the other Dark Lords making up the power base's senior leadership. You can check out the creators featured in this video on Engine, as well as the other Fanon creators featured and mentioned. If you enjoy Fanon lore videos like this one, then please do click the like and subscribe for more. If you would like your Star Wars character to get a lore video such as this one, please check the description down below for submission details. Also, since Fanon material isn't official Star Wars canon, characters and stories are all subject to change in future updates. That'll be all, and may the Force be with you.